Welcome back everyone to today's video. We're going to be doing your third winter update and looking at the effects of the current charts and situations could affect November and December and earlier parts of the winter. But we will have obviously a brief overview of the whole winter itself. So we are not going to waste any time. We're going to get straight into this now. Right, so this is a new chart. You wouldn't have seen this before on my videos, I don't think, but this is the coral reef 5 kilometer anomaly things, and this can signify um, it helps us forecast our winters very much. So first of all, this big cold area here is signifying that we'll be having a La Nina. If this was red and warm, we would have an El Nino. Because it's cold at the minute, we are getting a La Nina. It's not overly cold, but we are getting a weak La Nina at least, and it could be a little bit more. So that is what that means for us. Right, next up we've got the big crucial part on our winter. So this cooling here um, in the Indian Ocean, this represents that there is a negative IOD, and this can affect our NAO, the North Atlantic Oscillation, which can give us colder winters. And that is a good sign for us at the minute, because that shows us that we have got a cooling trend just here at the moment. Up here, this can also affect our winters and increase, and it's a sign that we could have colder conditions and more blocking. This is only recently developed. We're looking for like a horseshoe kind of shape here. For like colder sort of conditions, like around the edge here, and as you can see, it is sort of developing, but we'll see how it develops over the next couple of weeks. And then the most important part of our what this affects on us is if we have a tripole here in the Atlantic, and this can show us if we are going to get a milder or colder winter overall by forecasting the AO and NAO. So for a tripole, which is a good sign for a colder winter, you want cold from here. You want colder conditions, so the blue, you want cold conditions sort of all the way down there. Then you want warmer conditions here, here, and here. We've got colder conditions here, which is sort of a sign of a tripole, but it is just a bit warm in this sort of area, and it's not cold enough here. But it's not over yet, because what we are going to do now is we're going to switch to the 7-day anomalies, and as you can see, it's pretty promising. Um, as you can see, we have got a lot of cooling, which is a good sign for us, showing that we could end up with a tripole developing, as we've got a lot of cooling here, sort of all over here where you want it for a tripole. And we've got a bit of warming here and a bit of warming here, and that is sort of what a tripole looks like. So if this continues, it could end up turning this into more of a sort of a colder area just here. This is what we want, and then we could end up with a warmer area around here, and that is what you sort of want for a tripole. So we are getting there, and that is a good sign if you want a colder winter. But in the Indian Ocean, we are warming around here, which obviously we don't want, because we want a negative IOD for a colder winter. Well, that's if you want a colder winter, like. So that will be questionable over the next few weeks. This is definitely going to stay as a La Nina, and this we need to see developments for a tripole. That's if you want one, like. Okay, let's go and have a look at some long range from the ECMWF. Okay, so this is the mean sea level temperatures, the weekly anomalies. So this is week one. This is for the 13th to the 20th of October. So the situation is forecasted to be high pressure seen over Greenland, Iceland, and over the country. Low pressure to the east and to the west. We'll probably bring in a sort of northeasterly, easterly type flow. Won't be very cold yet, because there isn't much cold over the continent, but it will be pretty chilly under that area of high pressure. Week 2 is the 20th to the 27th of October. We get high pressure sort of sitting over the country, maybe up here a little bit to Greenland, Iceland. Maybe it's down here a bit as well, not that much of a signal. Low pressure over Europe. We're probably bringing the winds in from a either a little bit of a northerly like that, or sort of over the ridge, sort of milder northerly. So cool, but nothing that cold. 27th of October to 3rd of November. This is where it gets interesting. Blocking high pressure over Greenland and Iceland. High pressure as always high have gone all the way south. They're blocked off. Low pressure is over Europe. Cold is now pouring down into the continent from the poles and Siberia where it's getting cold. We are getting northerly winds coming all the way up from all the way up, all the way down from the Arctic, which will be turning us very cold and probably wintry for northern parts of Scotland and in the Highlands. The 3rd to the 10th of November looks like this. Once again, blocking high pressure signals up here and up here, considering there's no signal. Low pressure in over Europe and over most of the continent, really. Winds coming in from a northerly direction. All the cold air will be accumulating over here as well by this point, so it will be getting quite interesting, especially from winds coming from over Siberia and Scandinavia. So it will be very cold for the time of the year with that as the cold pool starts to develop. Week 5 is the 10th to the 17th of November. Maybe signals weakening a bit. Maybe the ridge collapses a bit. We saw a look. Maybe we're bringing the winds up from the southeast there. We are getting far out now though. Week 6 looks like this. Not much signal. Maybe there's a bit of blocking here. High pressure's all the way over there. So how it usually is, because there's high pressure there and high pressure over there, I recommend there'll be some, well, I guess there'll be some low pressure just in here. Maybe we'll be a bit cooler again with that, but that was too far out for me to really forecast anything with that. Now what everyone has been waiting for, the CFS, which has been absolutely extraordinary the last couple of days. So this is very long range and probably won't come off, but it is signals for what the winter could be and is a little bit fun. So we are starting off on the 10th of October. Here we go. High pressure is the orange, yellows and reds, if you don't already know. Low pressure is the blue and green, blue and purples. Off we go. So as we move into mid and late October, we get high pressure ridging up towards Greenland and Iceland, which is very interesting considering we've just seen it on the ECMWF. Cold will be starting to pour down into Europe at this point, accumulating over Scandi. And we are going to break that blocking down from the Atlantic and go pretty stormy for a while before high pressure starts to build back in by the 5th of November. Now, on the 10th of November, we started to build a mid-Atlantic ridge. Winds go into the north, all the way up from Svalbard and from the poles, which will be that'll be a very cold northerly, I expect, considering the time of year just there. Let me see if I can pause that there. Let's have a quick look at the upper airs. Yeah, that's pretty cold. -5, -10 trying to get into Scotland. Very cold for the time of year. So as we continue on from that, high pressure breaks down, we go unsettled again until we start to get a blocking feature. Oh, wow. Let me just get the pen back, because this looks interesting. So, high pressure is going to ridge up here again. And let's have a look. Look at this. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Look at that. 24th of November. What is that? Extremely cold northerly winds. -20 lines in Iceland. Wow. Does it get in? Does it? Oh, there'll be a snow event there, won't there? Oh yeah, look at this. We'll have a snow event just there. Then it'll go milder and then it'll go freezing again. Wow. What a run so far. It's 24th of November. Just over a month away. We are in the freezer and we keep the cold. Wow. The cold stays. We're in December now, so 7-day cold spell. It's still there. Into December, the cold stays. We've now had the cold for about 3 weeks. 12th of December, 13th of December, the cold is still in place. Upper air temperatures are still in the freezer. Look at the cold over Greenland, Iceland, and Europe now. Freezing now. If we were to get a strong wind, we would be properly in the freezer. I mean, we already are, but we would be really in the freezer. So it looks like we're going to try and go milder from the west, but it doesn't happen, and we stay under the blocking. High pressure ridges, and we do go milder for a time before the northerlies come back again for a brief period, and then we do start to get the Atlantic coming in a little bit after a. Let's see, where does it start? Well, it starts there a bit. I mean, 22nd of November to 13th December, so 3 week. We know. Nearly a month cold spell. Wow. Then into December we keep it nice and mild. You know, that's our Christmas. And then we go for it again as we go. Oh, wait, no, we don't. Never mind. We do go for it again as we go into January. But the low pressure starts to break that down. And that looks pretty. But we do get some northwesterlies that could be blizzard-like. And we go for another northerly. Look at this. Let me just have a look at that cold pool on the 15th of February, because I just want to see how much cold's there. I'm reckoning it's quite a lot. Oh, not much cold over Europe, but we are pretty. Look at that. Over Greenland in the purple. And that is as far as we're going to go with this, because I don't think we need to go into the spring, do we? But don't worry, that was the midnight run. We've still got the 6Z to go. Don't worry, the video's not over yet. We've got some other things to show you after as well, so stick around until the end, because it is looking good at the minute. It is the 6Z, let's see what happens. Once again, high pressure starts to ridge north, get a bit of a northerly, but doesn't really come off. Bit chilly into the start of November. Not much really happens though, pretty mild. We're not doing what we did with the previous run, we're staying pretty mild. Wait a minute. Or are we? We do go cold into the end of November just there. Before we try and go cold again, but it sort of fails. I mean, this runs sort of cold snap after cold snap. 16th of December, 20th of December, we're trying to get the easterlies in. Whoa, 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 look at this. 25th December. Christmas Day, by the way. Look at the upper air temperatures. -5's coming in. Possible snow event on Christmas Day. But that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at where that cold pool's gonna go. Because at my brief glance, no. Can't you just stay on there for a minute? At my brief glance at this, I think, let me just draw what I think's going to happen. I believe, based on my knowledge, that high pressure here is going to go up there because the Atlantic low pressure is pushing it up. It's going to go up there. This low pressure is going to drop in and we're going to go freezing from the east or from the north. But I might be wrong. Let's have a look. Alright, I might have been wrong. Wait, no, I don't think I was. There we go. And we get a very cold snap from the north until we start to get stormy. Not as much from the 6Z. Wait. Into the end of January, we get the beast from the east in. Very nice. So, we are getting a very cold signal once again from the 6Z, but it is later on. Oh my word. Look at that. Now that's beast from the east level. No, probably colder than beast from the east level cold. That is some extreme cold over Europe. Actually, let's stay on the upper air temperatures for a minute. see where that cold goes, because that was come on, come on. It's been slow today, Weather Central is. Let's have a look where it goes. Oh, yeah, beast from the east type. Winds there, strong easterlies, plenty of snow showers. Look at the cold over Europe there. Doesn't really actually get into us, but oh well, never mind. We get another blast from the north. Very cold temperatures from Greenland and Iceland pushing in. So colder signals from the 6th, but not like the midnight run, because you know the further away you go, the more unlikely it is. So I think our best run of the day is definitely the midnight run. That is an extreme northerly though. Look at that. Anyway, let's go and have a look at something else. This is the GFS ensembles for the next couple of weeks. For London, the red line is the 1991 to 2020 average. We're currently above that average at the minute, but we're going to stay around average for the whole time. This is the 6Z run, I think. I think it is, yeah. And as you can see, these are the colder runs as we go towards the end of the month into November. One even trying to get the temperature down to -7 upper airs, which would end up being very cold. 12Z looks like that. Once again, maybe some more cold ones. There's actually two going for like -7 upper air temperatures, which is very cold for late October, if any of them did come off. Probably won't, but you know, it's always a bit of fun. But well, that was very interesting. I'm now going to pause for a minute. I'm going to get the Swingo up and we're going to have a look what I am thinking our percentages are for the winter of 2025-26, if they're going to be mild or cold. Remember last video, I think I had it at a... Was it a 54? 46? I'll go have a look. Okay, here are my thoughts. Sorry for the dodgy swingometer. I don't know why the needle is down there. That's a bit weird. But anyway, my thoughts are 58% cold, 42% mild. That's another 2% swing to cold from the last update. And I'm going to be firmly saying now that it is looking good at the minute. But I'm not going to speak too soon, as anything can happen. But just keep it in mind that at the minute I think the favours are on a colder winter. Well, thanks everyone for tuning into this video. Stay updated. We will be back with another update very soon. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.